Last time on Dice Funk.
He uses an old pirate spell. It's an anti-mutiny incantation thing that Porter puts on everything. It's clings to your weapon first, but after 24 hours it clings to the person, so you can't attack your captain.
I feel responsible for this, and if the other two of you can take on the other fights that we need to do, I think I need to take the Baron down, and I have a plan to do that. I'm not super keen about making a little bit of an enemy of my religious elder and also being full of worms. I don't know how it fills with everyone else's plans, but I think I gotta stop. I think I gotta stop that Baron.
Because you saved Lucius's life, I'm not going to make you roll anything. I think he'll just say, all of Porter's magic doohickeys is at the farm. I mean, listen, we go way back. You know, we came up together. I like Porter, but she's a little sick in the head.
You don't need to say that twice.
All right, this dynamic duo teleport into the stables. It is a pretty decent stables. It's a mediocre livery. It's an okay corral, if you will. It is filled with hippocampi, mostly, the kind of horse of our setting. Notably, and I didn't know you were going to go in here necessarily, there is a VIP stable here, which is warded with some kind of magic. You can investigate that if you want, but you hear outside, because now you're inside the stables, someone outside mumbling, and they are, some kind of magical incantation. They're doing something. There is a person immediately outside the stables.
Third level spell slot to cast Acid Arrow.
Yeah, Reaper is looking at you. I don't want to say expectantly. I think she's looking at you like a teenager who's almost using this to kind of guide some of her, emotional stability. Not stability, but just this is going to be an essential moment for her.
Right. Basically, especially because since they were just stunned, this is effectively like executioner style, and Boyce is going for the kill here. So, Boyce, I'm going to elect this time to go for non-lethal in this case here.
All right, Reaper pops her up in the air, stunning her, and then you shoot an acid arrow, not through her head, but through somewhere in her torso. And she kind of laughs as she floats down and says, "I never laid a hand on you. I just made you see yourselves for who you really are. But my friend is gonna lay some hands on you." And she touches her earring and starts chanting, "Teeth, teeth, 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 teeth," as the earring starts vomiting black shadows out of it, a cloud of darkness that begins enveloping the area. As you're surrounded...
Yeah, I knew this motherfucker was coming back.
You're surrounded by banana boys with wands, and Master Evers steps out of the cloud of shadows. Porter's body kind of flops to the ground, and she is not participating in the fight anymore, but she had an agreement with Master Evers. This is where you sent her, if you'll recall the last arc. Master Evers says, where can I go to get stronger? And wherever you sent him, I was going to give him a power-up based on that person or location. You sent him to the Banana Boys, and so Porter gave him these. Now he has 2 bracelets. Last time you saw him, he had 1, which is the bone that Reaper gathered, and which absorbs some of your shadow magic, which uses Word of Recall to teleport Master Evers back to the Hadal zone where he can heal. And now you see he has a second one on his other wrist. In a way, looking at Reaper, it kind of mirrors that both of your arms are covered in the K-part ribbons. It's symbolizing your family, but he just has 2 made out of stark white bone. They're not the colorful family of ribbons. And he looks at you, Reaper, as Master Evers steps out of the cloud and says, "You ran away."
It's a real short, simple one. Barbella simply says, "What is it that if given 1, you'll have either 2 or none?"
If you're given 1, you'll either have 2 or none.
Mm-hmm.
Trust?
Nope.
Secret?
Nope.
I think it's fair to say I lost.
Yeah, a choice. You'll either have multiple things to choose from, or you'll have no choice.
What the fuck? Okay, I think the Bishop Bittercreek loses, and the purple vent behind you turns golden, and the hole in the seafloor begins filling up with the Well of Resurrection's holy light.
Please trust me that I know how much I don't know. But I can't let how much I don't know stop me from trying to act. When things are at their worst. And Barbella steps into the hole.
Laura, can you tell everyone about Shrimp Jesus?
Oh no, I think this is your responsibility.
Yeah,
I think
Austin.
you gotta finish what you've started.
So basically, the AI image generators have become terribly inbred. So they are using AI images to generate AI images, which they're just getting more and more corrupt and fucked up. One of the trends is Facebook images, which I guess ostensibly started with earnest religious posting and seafood posting, have somehow merged into these horrifying Jesus shrimp hybrids that are just really upsetting. This happened like halfway through the season, and I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate Shrimp Jesus naturally into the story, but we already had the Riddle Church. It was so important, so it would have felt like too contrived to have Shrimp Jesus show up.
I've seen theories about where the Shrimp Jesus began. The most popular theory I've seen, I don't know if it holds any water, is that it was Jesus baptism imagery, and it was trying to do Jesus in the ocean doing baptisms, and that went on a weird tangent and eventually became Shrimp Jesus. Who knows how much truth there is to it? AI is doing strange things, as demonstrated by, I opened Facebook for the first time in a while today and saw a cow smoking with an asshole full of cigarettes that I shared with the class before we began.
Yeah, I was aware of one of the other AI image trends being flight stewardess with Jesus sand sculptures and having tags like beautiful cabin crew, Scarlett Johansson as the lines in there.
Oh,
so
now see, I see sand sculpture Jesus next to a small child, and it's the child carved this in only an hour. One like equals one prayer. No one will pray for this child.
Yeah, or the woman's like, hi, I am 109 years old. I made my own birthday cake. And on the birthday cake, it says, happy birthday, 1019 birthday.
Oh man, I'm sorry about everything. Last season we had an AI construct as the main antagonist, and I was like, did I do a good enough job just really getting across how fucked up and stupid they are?
Can we ever truly undo the damage of cool AI products have done to we really thought we were gonna get some cool HAL 9000 shit, and it's just embarrassing robots yelling at each other on Facebook group posts.
Yep, I believe that leads to what's known as what the dead internet or whatever that's called, where it's just the internet's nothing but AI yelling at each other.
All right.
But you know what bit of the internet isn't dead? Here, Dice Funk, where we do D&D.
You said that a little too soon. we all have one-on-one fights to do, but it's not a guarantee this is all alive.
I'm not even sure what my one-on-one fight's going to be, Austin. So you got some explaining to do.
I don't know about the rest of you. I'm ready for a one-on-one fight. I'm prepped. I don't know why the rest of you were all seeming so exhausted and out of resources.
Yeah, so last we left the adventure, Barbella, you decided to enter the Well of Resurrection while still alive. Your soul was ripped out of your body, and now you are possessing your own corpse, kind of. Like, it's still biologically functioning, but the connection is interesting. We've seen this on screen once with Allison, and it happened off screen previously, as you've discussed. But here's the thing. You know it's disorienting. I think when you saw Allison come back, her bubble was popped too early. She had, like, short-term memory loss. She was confused about where she was. You heard also when this happened to Master Evers, he went berserk and just beat Allison, like, half to death. So where we start this episode is you just kind of stumbling around. You don't remember exactly how you got there. I mean, you can help me paint this picture, but it's very much like you just jump cut into the middle of something, and you don't exactly know where you are or where you've been.
I'll say this. I think if there's anywhere that Barbella would not freak out too much about being disoriented and confused and not knowing exactly where she is, church would be a great place for that, because I do feel like she would have an inherent sense of, even if I'm not sure where I am, it is familiar and safe. And that is a nice something you can layer on top of confusion and delirium.
I was definitely thinking, do you have the religious training for this not to be weird? Like, are you just like, oh, everyone else is an amateur, everyone has one beer and it gets completely plastered and you're fine?
From personal experience, I know if someone is experiencing delirium but they're doing so in a place that they are familiar with, it's going to be less of a problem, and that's something. We've got setting there. I think the thing I've been thinking about is what the experience of becoming detached from the body feels like for Barbella in this first moment, and I don't know whether she'd have the words for this straight away, but I think it is the experience of being two halves of one whole in somewhat similar a way to a riddle. You have the sort of tangible part that is the setup, that is there and is for all to see, and then you have the answer, the sort of more intangible bit that you cannot understand at a glance, and Barbella is having to process, whether she's got the words for it or not, her existence is now somewhat akin to a riddle. And that is, by its very nature, quite confusing, because riddles are inherently a little bit confusing.
I hadn't thought of that. That's fascinating. I love how deep in the paint on this you are. You've really committed to the bit, and that's very satisfying. So yeah, I don't know exactly what the experience was like to go through it. It might be impossible to put into words. You might not remember, right? So like, if this was like a visual adaptation, there might have been like a psychedelic thing of like, tree roots and snake coils and all kinds of like imagery, and then suddenly you're like stumbling through the doors of the church. Someone's calling your name, you don't know where, you turn, you almost fall down, you catch a glimpse of yourself in their reflective scales that were scavenged for the riddle church. Why don't you describe yourself to me, because you have been essentially hit with a true resurrection spell, which makes you physically perfect, essentially.
Yeah. So it's hard to say what physical perfection would do to Barbella, because wasn't she physically perfect already, honestly? Like, how do you improve on physical perfection?
Off the top of my head, the things are that mechanically you get as a bonus is you don't have a disadvantage on persuasion because your burns are healed from being knocked out onto that volcanic fault. And your surgery recovery from having half of your liver removed is completely healed.
Oh, I can drink the wine that makes you gay again.
That's your priority. That's the important thing.
Yes, that is the biggest priority. The biscuits and gravy that make you pansexual have just not been doing it for me.
Oh my god. I'm gonna ask Facebook AIs to generate some of that for me. Getting more and more baroque pansexual foods.
I'm gonna say the thing that I have in my head because I can't shift it, and it's there now, so I guess this is canon. She's got Super Saiyan hair now.
Okay, so is that your natural fins that have elongated, or is it your let's say riddlefish friend powers? Because famously, Allison came out of the well filled with giant tube worms. Remember that you have a tripartite God, so the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm thinking at this point, you realize you also have something similar. I mean, it's your character, so feel free to play in the space, but
No, I'm happy to play in this space. If you reckon tube worm Super Saiyan hair is the way to go, I'm on board with it.
It can be. I was gonna say I think it's a different animal. I don't think everyone gets worms. I think if there's a different fish or a snake, I mean the banded crate.
I had not considered other wiggly things.
Yeah, so the riddle fish, riddle snake, riddle worm has many faces. So the mechanical benefit for this, visually you look different, but the thing you get is a second bonus action, which I've scoured all the various 5th edition books, and no one has ever done this before, which probably means it's reckless and foolish to do, but...
I've been thinking all week about the reasons why it's reckless of you to have given it to me, and I'm very excited. It's beautiful. It's great. You know what? No, I can tell you exactly what Barbella's new hair is made of. Let me confirm that the actual creature looks as cool as the illustration does. It's ribbon eels. If you go look at a ribbon eel, they are cool as hell.
Holy shit! Now that's a good guy.
Right? They're sort of thin and strand-like if you took like a partition of hair, but they're also sort of blue and yellow, cool anime color, wiggly little eel friends.
Yeah.
You can get them in Animal Crossing. You know they're cool.
This is really good. I was looking at eels earlier this season. I think we may have mentioned on air the snipe eel, which is one of the creatures that I was picturing the riddlefish as. But this is also good, very vibrantly colored too, which is exciting. Completely gormless facial expression on the ribbon eel.
Yeah, it is incredibly thin, which it uses to hide in sort of small rocks and crevices, which I like to think is, battle mode, out comes the ribbon eels.
Alright, so you have all your hit points back, all your hit dice, all your spell slots, you have a second bonus action, your burn scars are gone, and all it cost you was betraying the church and majorly upsetting some people.
Betraying one man's understanding of the church. My commitment here is to the church, not to the individual man's interpretation of the church.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Barbella's doing the equivalent of going to the church and turning over all the tables and sending people out.
This is the Riddle Church's Catholic Protestant split going on. Occasionally you gotta go. I think we got slightly different ideas of how to interpret the text.
I think that is where we're going, yeah. I will say that Bishop Bittercreek was there when you went in, and he is not there when you get out. He did not pop your bubble. In fact, when you catch a glimpse of your reflection in the scales of the church, you're admiring your ribbon eels, and you feel something nudge against you, and you turn, and you see your paladin mount, the pipe-faced, the dragonfish. Was it pipe-faced dragon-faced pipefish?
Yeah, that one.
And it is snuggling up to you. Your fine steed is not a concentration spell. You just made that animal real, and it just comes to you in your time of need. And it is here.
Friend. I don't know what the hell's going on right now, but it's good to see you. Barbella is just gonna hug for a second.
Yeah, you wrap your arms around the dragon-faced pipefish. And you still are hearing faint voices. You're just a ringing in your ear for a second, and it's hard to focus, whatever the effect of coming out of the bubble is. But eventually, as you're finding some calm and some centering and hugging your mount, the voice becomes more clear, and you hear it say, "Barbella, Barbella, are you there? Answer me."
Oh, is it this fucker? That asshole's back.
Uh-huh. Sister,
okay.
You can't avoid me forever.
Before the Baron shows up, I need to have a quick look at my my list of stuff I've got here because okay, how do I want to do this? Barbella is going to slick back her new ribbon hair, and attempt to like rub some dirt or something on her face to obscure the fact that she no longer has the scar there. Before the Baron can show up.
All right, yeah, you start doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator thing to get ready for battle, and the voice continues. It sounds very close. You were kind of at the front of the church. You stumbled out the doors. You see the dusty, not quite dusty, you're underwater, but you know what I'm saying, the deserted western town streets of Zolfo.
The kicked up silt that's sort of floating in the water.
Absolutely, and you still hear the voice just saying, "Sister, I need to talk to you."
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Oh, there you are. I was worried about you.
Worried about me, huh?
Of course. I have leverage over you. If you went and died before I could use it, it would be a great loss.
Hey, sir? 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 I know I can't hurt you right now. But here's the thing. If I come and swing at your face with a weapon enough times, you know it's gonna stop a millimeter before it hits you. But you're gonna flinch. And I'm gonna enjoy watching every time you flinch, worrying, is this the time that something goes wrong and I hit you? And if I can't stop you any other way, I'm gonna make you flinch every day of your life.
Is that where we are, Senora? That's your plan? You're just gonna come swinging at me? I thought you were a master of riddles. Maybe you'd found a solution out of this one.
Well, you never know. I found some ways to deal some damage to you before. Maybe I'll do it again. Maybe I'll just watch you flinch in panic thinking maybe I found another way to, I don't know, hit you into a kraken or whatever.
Mayhaps that would be true, sister.
Okay, what do I roll to try and locate Baron?
Perception.
Right, that is neutral. That's fine.
Oh!
That's a botch.
Oh, that's not...
First Super Saiyan roll was a botch.
Oh, that's not good. No, you don't
Look,
know...
I'm still coming to.
Yeah, you're leaning on the pipefish as you kind of stumble into the center of town. Like into the center of the street, at least. You're at the edge of town by the church. You don't see him. You're looking in all the directions, and you don't know where he could be, which is very concerning. I think maybe you don't get the effect fear, but maybe a fear starts to seep into you because you don't know what the hell is going on right now. And he says, "What's your plan, Hermana? Are you gonna try to kill me in broad daylight in the middle of town? Are there no laws in Zolfo? You can just kill whoever you want?"
I don't know. Can you just hold whoever you want at knife point? Is that cool? No. Yeah, can you just go around like putting weird magical locks on people that, you know, limit their ability to rise up against you without their consent? No.
Don't get high and mighty with me, Senora. You killed half a dozen elven Navy sailors in cold blood without blinking. You gonna hold it against me that I implied I might use some leverage? Grow up.
You, Barbella could just blame Boyce for all those killings. That's an easy out for that, actually.
Look, we both know this is just gonna keep repeating, and you're just gonna keep amassing power until something stops you. And if that has to be me, so be it.
I like the sound of that. But I want to hear you say, "I'm going to kill you because I don't like you and I think I can get away with it." That's the truth and I want to hear it.
I am going to kill you if I am left with no other way to stop you from putting increasing numbers of people under your thumb, all so that you can use it against them later.
Disappointing. I'm so disappointed in you. The way I see it, you have 3 choices. Leave town. Admit I won. Go away. Maybe not a choice for a brave fighter like you, but it's there. Another choice, you find me. You trick me somehow, you throw me into a crack and I die. Now you're a murderer. You've disgraced yourself, you've spit in the eyes of your church. Maybe they execute you, maybe they exile you, maybe they imprison you. None of my business, I'm dead. Or maybe I help you. Maybe you fit warm and snug inside my pocket, and you use your popularity and you become the new Riddle Pope. Huh? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm showing you a way out, a bright light. Come towards it, Sister Barbella. Come towards the light.
I have no interest in being in charge of a religion if I get there by accepting a deal from the likes of you. And you know what? Whatever consequences come of it, I will stop you. Because the idea... I'm trying to work out how Barbella would address this thing, but the thing I want to address is the idea of the tolerance of intolerance. It's the, like... how is Barbella going to put this?
I mean, this is very intentional. I made this villain. He's not like killing hundreds of people like the real cattle barons. I kind of made it a I'm not touching you villain.
Yeah.
Where it kind of makes you seem unreasonable to correctly understand what he's up to.
yeah. It's I think the way Barbella's going to put it is there's a whole bunch of people like you that use the fact that, oh no, be civil. You don't want to seem like a villain, as a smokescreen to get away with doing heinous acts.
Let's just meet in the middle, Barbella. Oh, I took a step back. Let's just meet in the middle, Barbella. Oh, I just took a little step back. Come on, let's just meet in the middle.
Look, there is a social contract that needs to be met, and if you are not willing to meet that your half of it, I do not need to tolerate your intolerance.
So what? You're gonna gather up your posse, maybe some of your friends and the sharks, and then I'll grab my banana boys and we'll have it out in the streets. Pow, 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 pow. Let the trenches fill with blood. That's what you want?
No. You're a coward. Just me and you.
Oh, that's interesting. What do I have to gain from it? I already have you. You're a fugitive. You're abandoned. Why would I do this? What leverage do you have, sister?
How about this? The fact that I'm standing here confident as day in the center of town, and you aren't stopping me, and everyone can see that.
All right, roll intimidation. Let's see if you can be baited.
Okay, intimidation. Six.
Yeah, that's not good. That's interesting because I think he is someone who's just very rarely ever been successfully threatened. He has very many layers of protection and a lot of goons, and I think he just feels too safe. And he says, "I just don't see the deal. You're not much of a negotiator, sister."
Okay, well, what would it make it worth it to you then? What would make it worth your while to make this a one-on-one?
To duel you. Well, if I win, I want to be a community leader. I want to have the reputation that I so richly deserve. I want the Riddle Pope in my pocket. Together, Bitter Creek and I will do wonderful things. Everyone here is going to be fabulously wealthy. The little architect friend, Boyce, that pugilist, Black Ebon Reaper, so rich beyond their wildest dreams, and all thanks to you. What can you give me to ensure when you're dead, I can benefit from it?
Okay. Barbella pulls out the laminated book of riddles. There are not too many of these down here. Fewer even of them that are not in church hands. Fewer yet that came directly from the riddlefish. fewer yet that have been seen being used to summon the riddlefish itself.
All right, so you used to have disadvantage on persuasion. Now you don't. He doesn't know that. Can you roll that for me? Let's see. This will be kind of the consequence of losing that persuasion in a way. Even though he can't see your burns, you know it's all abstraction. Maybe it's confidence.
Yeah. Crit 23.
Holy fuck, Barbella.
Yeah, my persuasion's back. Hooray! The stat that improved saved the day.
Wow. It's a crit instead of being a disadvantaged roll. That would have been something much worse.
I'm curious now, what would it have been with disadvantage?
Yeah.
How bad would it have been?
Roll that again.
Would have been a 5.
Wow.
Would have been a 2 plus 3, so, yeah. Thank you, throwing myself in a hole.
All right. Oh, so you're going to offer me the power of your religious significance and your position in the church. All right. I think we can make that work. Why don't you pick me up?
Do I have to roll to understand what that means?
Uh-huh. Insight?
8. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, if you just say, what the fuck does that mean? He says, the badge, Barbella, that we've been talking through. Do you think I'm in your head right now?
I'm gonna be honest, I thought you were, like, behind a tree or something.
Oh, maybe all the stress is eating away at your frontal lobe, sister. You might want to get that checked out after this is all over. No, the banana badge. It's how I communicate with my underlings. I understand you came into... you have a number of them. You and Boyce both have one, I believe.
Yeah, but you're not in there, are you?
Well, not literally. I have one, and I'm talking to you through it.
I pick up the badge?
Yeah, it's in your IDA. It's in your equipment, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he told me to pick him up. I'm holding the badge. I picked it up.
All right. I mean, you crit, so he's willing to do a Old West showdown duel, and he says, in addition to their communication abilities, these banana badges are helpful locators, so it's going to start flashing in a moment, and it'll flash brighter and faster the closer you get, so follow the light, sister, and I'll see you shortly.
It's a location mystery to solve, like a riddle.
All right. Meanwhile, Reaper and Boyce, you're at the ranch. There are 20 banana boys around you, forming like a circle. They all have wands out. They could just shoot you to death pretty much without resistance. But Master Evers, the Viperfish Kuatoa, raises a hand to stop them. He wants to fight you martial arts style. So I think everyone here should roll initiative as you get ready for this fight.
I mean, I will probably have Reaper say, like, are you sure you want to go right now? You don't want to wait a moment for a more interesting fight?
Master Evers, who once again, it's been a while since we've seen him on screen. He is this black, gaunt fish who has a splattering of red across his face, like someone, like swung a paintbrush at him, Jackson Pollock style. He has very clear, almost glass-like teeth and big, kind of dead eyes that are looking in into the middle distance, essentially. He is also a master of the shadow martial arts here, so he is doing the same stance you are, Reaper. And he says, I think now is a pretty interesting time.
Yeah, so I think Reaper's she's gonna do the Henry Cavill loading your arms move and just be like, all right, but I'm not gonna make this easy on you, old man.
How disrespectful that would be. I trained you to be strong. Why would you disappoint me?
I just don't understand what you really wanted out of a student. Didn't you want someone to be powerful?
Yes, I saved you. You were alone in the dark, defenseless. I made you so strong.
Well, then why did you leave me alone?
I got sick from my training.
That's boo-hoo on you, but I meant more before that. I lived an entire life with just you, and you told me I couldn't rely on anyone else but myself.
And look what I made. You're a champion.
No, you just failed at making someone as miserable as you are.
I'm sorry, student.
Alright, so I guess I want to ask Austin.
That's me.
Can I do an insight check on my stupid dickhead master to find out if I like sit down and start meditating or whatever to like heal up, are they just gonna run in and just like punch my fucking kidneys out?
Sure, roll insight.
14.
Yeah, I would need 15 to tell you what would happen. I will say, no, you're not just going to be murdered. He just apologized to you genuinely because it seems like you didn't like the way he turned out, and he didn't like that. He's not like a psychopathic axe murderer. He thinks he's a good dad, and he's wrong. Is what I'll say.
Okay.
So yeah, if you did something like just sitting down, the situation will evolve. But it wouldn't just be 20 cowboys shoot you in the back of the head.
Yeah, I think that's what Reaper is going to do. She's, I guess, can I roll an intimidation on top of this? Because I think she is going to basically just try to no-sell the fact that all this is going on around her and she's in, like, really bad odds. She's, like, going to try to be kind of cocky about that because that's where a lot of her strength comes from.
Absolutely, roll intimidation.
That's not much better, but okay. 14 again. Okay, I'll say this will be like a mixed success. You will get something you want here, which is you're not immediately gonna have to fight this full guy at full power while both of you are injured. So if you sit down and start meditating, Master Evers looks over to the cowboys and does like a hand gesture like, all right, wrap it up, they're not gonna fight. And a dozen guys come over and grab Boyce and start taking him away to the stable, and someone picks up Porter, the sea bunny, who was shot through the chest last episode, and they help her to her feet, and she says, I'm gonna go check on the prisoner. Let me know when you're done with this family drama, you fucking nerds, as they take her away. And everyone like leaves you and Master Evers here. Presumably to talk. There are clouds of krill like circling around you because you're in the middle of a farm here. And so I guess that's what's going to happen. Is Master Evers like stands over you while you are meditating. Boys, you are taken away and put in the stables. Remember last episode there was a magically locked one. Someone has a key, and they open it up, and it's a very nice, luxury stable you're put in. So I don't know if that helps, but I guess if you all want to roll hit dice or whatever, you can do that now.
Is there anything in the stable?
Just food and tack for a mount. I guess you could roll investigation.
Sure, I'll do that before I begin. That's a 15.
Yeah, if there's something specific you would want to know, or like something you could be gained here, we can talk about that. I would say nothing immediately plot relevant sticks out. It's just that instead of a hippo camp, which is what most people have for horses in the setting, not Master Evers, Baron Valenzuela has something else, something faster. It has like a special high quality feed. It has like a different shaped saddle. He has like a different animal he's riding. If there's something you want specifically here while you're healing up or whatever, you can have that. Just let me know.
I'll think on that. But I have a feeling we want to stay on the Reaper Evers scene for the moment, just for momentum's sake, I guess.
Yep. All right. So, Boyce, you're locked up. There are like 24 cowboys here armed on the farm. So you're going to be in a pickle when you get back. But Master Evers is standing over you, Reaper, and says, "It hurt me when you ran away. You almost defeated me. I would have been so proud."
What if I'm not gauging my strength based off whether or not I can defeat you anymore?
You're letting the weakness win.
So it's a fight for my soul then, is it?
Everything is a fight. From the moment you're born, we're fighting in the dark. You see, he is touching the bracelets he's wearing. He has like 2 bone bracelets Porter made for him. You know, one teleports him back to the Hadal zone. You don't know what the other one does, but when he says that, he seems like he's reflecting on those items that your choices gave him. I will reiterate.
You know, I'm starting to feel as though I maybe had a misunderstanding of exactly what darkness is. I always took it from your instructions that it was the most powerful element to surround yourself in. Perhaps it's not necessarily all of that. Maybe it's just an accessory I can use.
The darkness keeps you safe. I shared it with you, and you have been ungrateful.
I appreciate you starting me on the path to becoming the absolute strongest fighter. But I think I've outgrown your teachings.
He flinches. I think that is probably the hardest you've hit him this season. And he looks into, like, he's always looking into the middle distance, but he looks away from you, like physically, at this point. And he says, "Where did I go wrong? I trained you every day, raised you, fed you. Why are you doing this to me?"
Because you're the one who made my heart so black.
Now what do we do?
You know, I'm actually rather curious about something, Evers. Deliberately leaving out Master in there.
Yeah, flinching again, looking back at you. I've tried never to have him call you by your name, only student or pupil.
Yeah. Plus, how often can you get characters to say XX Black Ebon Reaper XX before the mystique of the world is worn away?
I actually tried to only have the Baron say it because to him it's a legal formalistic thing. It's like that makes it contractually binding. I don't know. That was just a choice he made.
Yeah. He's going off the old days of true names and whatnot. Reaper is going to turn to Evers and ask, "Did you ever long to go to the surface to escape your dark abyss?"
Of course. I have been denied half the world until now.
If someone were to find you help to get to see the rest of the world, would you take it?
I already have.
Oh, how's that?
He puts a hand on your shoulder. You sent me. And he jangles the bracelet. I'm not going to make you roll for it. The second bracelet counteracts the effects of the pressure sickness that would kill a viper fish coming to the surface.
So Reaper is going to kind of stare at him, confused. And she is just going to be like, "Then why do you still care about all of this? If you can see this whole wide world full of opponents you've never fought before, why would you spend more time here?"
Because I care about you. I can't let you succumb to your weakness and be killed. How could I live with myself?
You have a strange way of showing affection.
I am your master. I am responsible for you.
With that, I think Reaper is going to kind of like stand up and dust herself off. Like she's done her little thing, her little whatever in-universe thing spending hit dice is meant to be the equivalent of. In my mind, she's like, it's WoW would always have like a button you could just hit. And your character would like pretend to chop vegetables for 30 seconds, and then their health would be fully restored. Like whatever that equivalent is, I sit there in like a lotus position for a minute, and then boom, all my health's back. But she's gonna stand up and kind of take a couple steps back and get into a fighting stance, and Reaper's just gonna be like, "If this will relieve your conscience, then consider this my last and final act as your student."
No, it isn't fair. I am without weakness. And he reaches over and touches your arm, which has all of the K-part ribbons on it, and he like runs his fingers across these different colorful ribbons that the crabs have bestowed on you. And he says, "We cannot have a fair fight until I have removed your weakness."
Did I have to do an insight? Is he just gonna rip the ribbons off, or is he gonna kill my crab family?
I think the most interesting thing is you have that thought. The Reaper's head, the gears are turning. You're trying to determine what he means, and then he is off like a shot in a blur of darkness and shadows, going towards the K-part trench.
Holy fuck.
I'm shooting after him. Like this is straight up, like Dragon Ball fucking like speed lines, like a little energy thing being like to show that they're in movement.
Yeah, athletics contest?
Yeah, sure you don't mean acrobatics.
Listen, this chase isn't over.
Well, I got a 7, but I am of course doing this with advantage, right?
15, so he pulls ahead of you. He got a head start, and he's just so fucking fast. Literally, he is a shadow monk the way you are, just a higher level. Everything you can do, he can do better. If you want to do, like you just said, acrobatics, we can do an acrobatics contest, or you can roll something else because he's pulling away at this point.
Yeah, I think I would definitely want to try to incorporate acrobatics. It's tough to envision acrobatics entirely underwater, but I guess it's just that she knows how to make herself as like sort of aerodynamic as possible. So it's not as though she's expending more power. She's just like kind of focusing her technique.
All right. Do you want to roll acrobatics, or do you want to roll something knowledge based to maybe get advantage on that acrobatics?
I'm just gonna roll acrobatics. I feel more confident about this one.
I rolled a 14.
I rolled a 19.
All right, here's what I'll tell you. With an acrobatics of 19, you realize you cannot beat him in a straight up race. He's faster than you. But he is underwater, and water is thick, and it's heavy, and it's in the way. You sure could go a lot faster if you didn't have all that water resistance in the way, and you have a new monk ability that lets you run up sheer surfaces or on the surface of water.
So I'm gonna. Can I walk on water underwater? Can I truly become Shrimp Jesus?
I was gonna say you could run on the surface and he could be under it, and you both race, but you could be faster on the surface than he would be underwater.
How deep is the K-Part's house, though? That feels like that's gonna be a big distance to have to surmount.
So it is deep, but you will get there first is the
Okay.
important thing.
Then, yeah, I think she is going to attempt that because she's very fast. I don't know if you've heard, Austin. She is extremely fast.
Doesn't one of the Sonic the Hedgehog games begin with him running on the water to get to the island? Isn't that how that's what I'm trying to do here?
Sure. One of the games also ends with a Malcolm X remix of a song. It's a weird franchise.
All right.
Yeah, she's gonna get on top of the water and she's gonna run across it like she's fucking Sonic 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sonic 3, yo.
Yeah, so the Banana Boys ranch you were at was at a higher elevation. Remember, it was on a verdant bluff underwater, and so you will both need to dive eventually. But right now, you're just racing to get to where the K-part the trench is. You're on the surface, he's under the surface, and like the camera is like on the horizon line as you two race. Meanwhile, Boyce, you have been imprisoned in a luxury paddock in the corral. What are you up to?
In that case, the only thing Boyce has with him is just the manifested mind that looks like Ollie. And Boyce is going to try to find a way to sit comfortably, let the manifested mind just sort of like drawing close, so he's almost looking into Ollie's face and eyes, or at least an artifice of it, and just sort of thinking out loud. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull off our dreams here, but I'm going to do my darndest to try to get out there. But for now, I got to figure out how to get out of this little conundrum here so I can, I don't know, help Reaper or help Barbella. But what do I have that I can actually do to get out of here?
Yep, you hear outside there's like 24 banana boys of various species, Genasi, Kuotoa, nudibranches. They're just patrolling. They're all armed, and you're in the cell. Classic Metal Gear capture sequence.
So let me. So I have a suspicion that if I were to send the manifested mind out to kind of try to scout things a little bit, that's a possibility, but that might require some stealth checks in order for Boyce to basically try to find at least where his spell book is, where his spells are. So I think that's kind of the main goal I want to have him kind of do in this case here.
Sounds good. So your manifested mind is a thing you've been using throughout the season, but this is a unique thing most wizards wouldn't have right now. It's kind of a magical option when you have been disarmed.
Yeah. Yeah. To explain, I can move the mind up to 30 feet in an unoccupied space. It can't pass through objects. So unlike Gowdy, it can't go through objects. So there's like an opening that it can go through, like a window. That's a possibility, but it can pass through creatures. And it's just an intangible thing. It can look like a variety of little basic things, but as long as it's within 300 feet of me, I can basically control it. So I think what Boyce is going to do is try to engage in reconnaissance with the manifested mind to find out at least where stuff is from that perspective to start.
Can the manifested mind be attacked?
So that's an interesting thing because it's an intangible thing. So like it's not like a familiar in that respect. It can be seen, but like it says, it is intangible, does not occupy its space, but it sheds dim light, and it just looks like a ghostly little, a tiny ghostly object there.
So you send out your ghostly reconnaissance out of the stables to look around, and with a 9, it is spotted, and some banana boys come over and start hassling it, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you? Hey. And they try to shove it, and their hand goes through because it's intangible. Mm-hmm. And one of them goes like, oh, man, I'm going to have to go tell somebody about this, and they run off. So you have been spotted, but there's no immediate negative consequence.
The other thing I'm trying to think of right now is that at the very least, I can cast cantrips or spells without material components, because those spells do not require like material components or need like a spell casting focus to be done. So I'm looking at my little arsenal of spells I can do that can accomplish some of those goals there at least. All right, I got a few of them right now. Okay, so Boyce can perceive what's happening through the manifested mind. So their main goal is to now try to see what might be around or near the exterior of the stable, like where the pile of Boyce's stuff might be in this case.
All right, survival.
All right. One of the things I got an idea of thing I want to throw out there to aid in this. Probably cast a mage hand at some point. We'll start with this. A 15 on the survival in that case.
All right, yeah. With the manifested mind, you can look around and you find your personal effects have all been bundled together and thrown into a trough of food for like the farm animals or something. Just kind of disrespectfully, but yeah, you can find them with a 15.
Mm-hmm. In this case here, I think to kind of aid in doing this case here is casting from the manifested mind's position. mage hand to like grab and pull out the bag of stuff.
Okay, yeah, your little drone grabs your stuff. So because you failed the stealth, people are coming and they're going to try to stop this. What do you have for that? Because at this point, you can bring your stuff to yourself, but people are going to intervene.
The answer for that is using the spell Catapult to launch it back towards where it exited towards Boyce.
Okay, so you can throw your spell book into the other side of the locked door. You're both still separated by this door, though. So you can catapult it like so close to you. What is the last piece of the puzzle for you to get your stuff back?
Well, Misty Step is just a verbal component spell.
Okay, so you teleport out of your cell. I guess you could have done that the whole time. Is the thing.
Right.
But you have your stuff, so you're kind of kitted up. There are a lot of bad guys here. What are you up to?
All right. The next step is to allow the riders to get like close to Boyce's position, and then as they arrive closer, to utilize Thunder Step to get away, to basically, they get close, Boyce will teleport away using Thunder Step and then do an AoE bit of a damage spike against everyone who kind of crowds around him as he tries to find his way, mainly to find out where Elfago is, because that's his main concern right now, is to try to find out where Elfago is, both for Elfago's safety, but also to try to prevent the terraforming spell from being cast prematurely.
Yeah, so Thunderstep, you can teleport away and blast the people left behind. Not fatally, but you can do some damage to them if you want to. How far away does that put you, and what are you using or rolling to try to find? Because you were just in a cell, so you don't have a great idea of what was going on outside.
Right, that is the thing that Boyce has kind of as a disadvantage. The teleportation is 90 feet, so it's a pretty decent distance. And if you want to roll for them, it's a DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
All right, 13, that's going to fail, so they get blasted pretty good. You can roll that damage if you want. For me, though, the important thing is, can I get perception to look around?
Sure thing. It's a 16 damage, but I'm mostly just trying to stun them and try to knock them around a little bit. Yeah, that perception's only a 3, so Boyce's 7 wisdom is not going to help him when it comes to finding Elfago.
Yeah, that's not good. It's basically, you set off a stick of dynamite in a crowd of cowboys. They're they're hurt and they're confused. They're running around. You have 90 feet of separation, which is good, but they're saddling up and they're going to come for you. So this is going to get out of hand pretty quickly with the 3 on perception. I don't have any great information for you, but you have all your spells, you have all your skills, and you can talk us through it. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty harrowing escape.
Yeah. Well, Boyce is going to try to do the best he can to move. The only thing I can do to kind of expedite myself to get to somewhere faster is to cast haste on myself, in order to double my speed for a bit. But the other thing I was considering doing was possibly tapping into Detect Magic again to see if I can use that to trace out where Elfago might be located if spellcasting is happening near them, but that is a bit of a risk to take on. Otherwise,
do you do Detect Magic?
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
All right. If you use Detect Magic, you can see this sparkly trail, the the magical after image of Porter, the sea bunny, who is covered in magic items. She has both of her ear-like projections are covered in her custom earrings that are all enchanted items. And she went away from the ranch. She's not here anymore. So you can follow that sparkly trail that she left.
Well, it's somewhere that's further away from the ranch handlers, and that is at least a start. So Boyce is going to try to follow that trail as fast as he can, while also guiding the mind to sort of fly up and try to get back towards where he is as he moves. If the others start giving chase, he will mostly try to retaliate with acid splashes targeted at the men to sort of like, wear them down and kind of slow them down from following him, since he can target 2 creatures at a time with each acid splash cantrip he uses. So it's like kind of like running away while people are chasing him on like a hippocampus back and horseback, and he's just aiming back, 2 fingers around, like shooting off the little acid splashes at them as he goes.
Okay, so your plan is to run on foot as 20 people on horses chase you.
Like I said, the only other option I really have is because I don't have the mount that I rode over here with. I don't know where
it's somewhere nearby.
Yeah, I can try to spot where it is. That would be, and try to get back on it. My animal handling is terrible, but it's worth a shot at least.
Uh-huh. I would.
Yep. So, all right. In that case, Boyce is going to try to find the mount that he rode over with kind of out and about here and try to saddle up on it to give him at least some speed to get away from the ranchers. And that is a 5 in the animal handling, so it's just...
Yeah, that's not good. I think you see it, but all the other banana boys saddling up and started coming over scare it off, and it runs away.
Right. In that case, the Boyce's only recourse to kind of wind this down is after kind of getting... the tricky part here is that to follow the trail requires Detect Magic to be up, which is a concentration, and casting Haste is also a concentration. So it's just like, I can only have one or the other up at the same time. I can't do both at the same time, so I'm like...
Yeah, this is harrowing. Maybe we'll leave this here for a minute and you can think, because you're running across the open plains. A posse is getting, rounded up. It's pretty dangerous, pretty climactic. Meanwhile, Barbella.
Yep.
You have followed the beeping banana pin as it gets brighter and flashes faster as you try to go north, you try to go south, you're playing a hot cold basically, and you figure out where Baron Valenzuela is hiding, and it is up.
How up?
Well, at first you think he's in the gig. You start swimming in that direction. Not swimming, you're on your mount, the dragon-faced pipefish. But then you realize it's not quite in that direction. Above you, there is a whole-ass island. I don't know if we've really nailed down how big Banyan Island is. The gig is kind of thrust through its heart like a spear. But there is still, miles and miles of this, what's called a floating island made of plant matter. I don't know if anybody has strong feelings that this should be like, Greenland-sized or UK-sized. I think maybe I was thinking kind of Cuba-sized. So it's pretty damn big. But as you get closer to it, you see all the twisting roots that are at the bottom of it have narrow openings, like a cowboy riding his horse into a forest. That is the direction you need to go on your mount.
Okay, I head that way.
So you have to kind of take it slow, but the pipefish is doing its best as you're narrowly winding through various roots of all different sizes. You've been to the bottom of the island before. There was one mission where there were some barnacles on it that slashed you up, if you'll recall, but these ones seem pretty clear, and you're going deeper and deeper into the island itself from the bottom.
Right, and do I have a sense of, am I imminently on the fight, or if I'm still a little ways off? Do we get, a little special beep when it's you're in melee range?
The beeping is getting faster and brighter. He's getting close. The anticipation is really ticking up. He could be anywhere. You don't know he also has a special mount. Only Boyce and Reaper are aware of this, but this is where this is paying off, is that you two are both cavaliers in a dark forest. Because the dense roots around you kind of block out, the sun, and it's kind of spooky in here as you're both circling in the dark. And here's my question is, do you keep the badge for now? Because he does keep talking to you this whole way, I think. He says, Barbella, I hear you are not a Hialeahist. And now you don't support Bishop Bitter Creek at all. Are you... Girl, are you a strangerist?
I'm someone trying to find the best of a few different perspectives.
And what perspective would you bring if I made you my special little riddle pope, snug and warm in my pocket?
Oh, none. Literally none.
Oh, you're so high and mighty.
I'm not giving you like free theology lessons.
Do you really think you're so much better than me? I have never killed a single person in my life, and you...
Yeah, you've just had other people do it on your behalf.
Yeah, and you're up to your ankles in blood and you judge me. Honestly, if we kill each other here, we stab each other to death, do you think you'd pass the vibe check? Do you think you would come back? I think I would.
I don't... I would have more respect for you if you'd done your own dirty work and taken the consequences.
Here's the question. Do I want your respect? I think no. And at this point, something bursts out of the roots to your side, and you see Baron Valenzuela's mount, a sailfish, which has been saddled up. One of the fastest fish that exists. It has a jewel-encrusted saddle. He is riding it. He has a straight razor, basically, the razor clam. He is not a badass fighter. He is not a knight. He's not, much of anything. He slashes you. I've talked about how his abilities work before. He is essentially a Tonberry. So, Barbella, you take...
Oh, I don't get a chance to dodge this or anything? No?
Nope, Barbella, you take...
Doesn't have to hit my AC? No?
Barbella, you take 1 damage. He barely nicks you inelegantly with his layman's strike from, frankly, not much of a weapon at all, as his marlin, I think I said sailfish before, it's a marlin, which is a kind of sailfish specifically, twists his body and like a bolt of lightning darts back into the roots. He's beckoning you deeper and deeper into the heart of the island.
Hey, we're gonna do this. At least wait until we're ready to start the fight. Unless you're gonna be a coward about it.
I think the fight started a long time ago, Barbella. I think we've been fighting all our lives.
I don't know, we haven't been asked to roll initiative yet, so I don't know if the fight started.
Yeah, so the fight has now started. Their initiative is you go, he goes, you go, he goes. So...
Okay. I can attack him. Cool. I'm gonna say something to him, and it is based in a real fact I learned this evening.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Baron. Have you heard? Tinnitus is a thing that, people thought it was always just in the brain, but, it's real. You can record it with a microphone. You can record someone's tinnitus. I just thought that might be of some reassurance to you to know. And Barbella is going to attempt to make 2 melee swings.
That's great.
Let's fucking go for this.
Let's go.
1 sec. So
I remember reading this article recently that they recorded it for the first time.
Yeah, there's a woman who, she's the first 2 tracks of an album she released are the tinnitus from her left and right ear, and it's fucking wild. So 20 and 21, do those hit?
Those both hit, yeah. He's not wearing armor. He came to this fight in a little business suit with his krill belt buckle. You know what? I just realized this is the first time you've seen him on screen since the Kraken hunt. He is wearing Lucius's hat.
Cool.
How did he get the hat?
It got knocked off when you knocked him out, Reaper, and he just picked it up.
Get that hat for me.
So here's the thing about this. I don't think I'm gonna get another as good an opportunity to hit him as I have here, where he doesn't realize I can hit him yet. So I'm gonna make this do as much damage as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So Let me start listing all of the various things that are about to be stacked onto this attack. So there's the base damage of each attack, which is 13 and 16, so 29.
Holy balls.
Plus, the first one of those hits gets Divine Smite, which isn't a bonus action, it's just a thing I can spend a spell slot on, so that's gonna be another 2d8.
Yeah, I think I texted you, I was like, Super Saiyan Barbella, let's go.
So that's another 14 damage. Then, Strike of the Giants is free on a turn. That doesn't cost me a bonus action. So we're going to do a Storm Strike. That's going to be... I'm going to roll a d6 to add another 2 damage, but the more important thing is I need a the more important thing is I need a con save. Otherwise, the Baron is going to get disadvantage on attacks.
20, so he saves.
Okay, saves. Now I get 2 bonus actions on a turn that I'm gonna roll into this damage.
No balls.
Which are going to be a blinding smite. So that's another 7 radiant damage, and I'm gonna need another con save for this Baron to not be blinded.
18.
Let me double check. I think yeah, you got it. And then I have another bonus action, which is going to be... Let's also add Branding Smite onto it.
Why not? Let's get silly.
So that's another 6 damage. So in total, that was 13 plus 16 is 29, plus 14 is 39, 43 plus 2, 45... 52 plus 6, 58 damage.
Wowzers bowsers. So you urge your dragon-faced pipefish forward. You two are kind of weaving in and out of the roots. You catch a glimpse of him and you lunge forward and you let him fucking have it with both barrels. You're channeling all your divine magic. You both physically hit him with the spear and then channel like 6 different blasts through it. He fucking howls like a wolf. With pain, reeling, the marlin goes spinning off, barrel rolling. It is a elegant, beautiful, powerful fish. I feel bad for putting it in this situation. He doesn't die instantly, but that was obviously a huge blow, I will say. Yeah, he is basically making cartoon pain noises. He probably can't remember the last time he so much as like stubbed his toe. He doesn't have toes, he's a nudibranch. You know what I mean. He's going, well, I mean, pick up on the mic, the kind of shit I'm doing over here. It's bad.
Probably should have waited till after the attack to tell him the fun fact about tinnitus. He's not going to remember I told him now.
Yeah. At the end of the order, I will say he touches his belt buckle wisdom saving throw as the sonar pulses begin to attack you.
Okay. Oh, I have my proficiency in that back.
Yeah.
12.
That's not gonna do it. No, you are feeling sick. You're feeling ill as the vibrations scramble your brains a little bit. You are going to have some disadvantage on your attacks here, as he is darting in and out of the roots again, deeper and deeper into the heart of the island. He says, "Sister Barbella, I didn't know you had it in you. How did you do that? I'm genuinely curious. I'm not putting anything on. How did you do that?"
Well, I mean, you have your little secrets that you don't share with other people. I've got mine, and mine are that I worked out a good plan for kicking your ass.
Senora, I'm impressed. A worthy adversary, finally. Most people who pick a fight with me end up losing far away, never even getting really into my presence or bothering me much at all. So this is a novel experience. I thank you.
Are you really surprised? Not even knowing what was impacting me, I still landed hits on you last time we fought. Is it really a surprise I took like 5 minutes and worked out how to get around you?
Well, you are the riddle master, I'll give you that. And suddenly he cuts back, darts at your face with the razor, swings with all of his might, and hits you for 2 damage.
Is it doubling each time it hits me?
Damn it, Laura! I can't get anything by you.
You should have used a different number series, Austin. You should. Wait. It could be just increasing primes, maybe.
She's so smart.
Okay.
Before it's
Okay,
your turn
cool.
again, he wheels him out on the marlin, tries to go back hiding into the roots, and says, "All right, riddle me this, riddle master. You think you're gonna outsmart me and you're gonna kill me here? Then what? The Krill cartel controls half the seas. You're gonna take them all on? What's your game plan? What's your end game?"
My end game? I have no big grand end game other than I want to explore a beautiful religion and not let it be taken over by someone as clearly ready to corrupt everything beautiful about it as you. Beyond that, that's a mystery I will solve when I get to the answering portion of the riddle.
How embarrassing to be struck by someone who doesn't even have a basic business plan.
Okay, some rough maths. I've got 5 or 6. I don't. I'm too tired to do the maths properly. It's like 5 or 6 attacks before I'm down. So I gotta make this. I gotta make this count because it's what. Next attack will be 4 damage, then 8, then 16, then 32. Definitely won't have enough left to take a 64.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 4 more hits if I don't heal is probably me. Although I was gonna say I do have healing, but the problem is my healing is not exponential. It is not worth me spending a turn on healing when the damage is exponential. I just have to outdamage this. So fuck it. Let's start swinging. I have disadvantage on my swings. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Hopefully that big modifier is enough to carry me through. 16 on the first.
Hits.
25 on the second.
Hits.
Cool. So let's roll the base damage on both of those again. That's 10 and 16 for 26 base damage, plus the Divine Smite. So that's another 9. Plus we're going to try for Strike of the Giants again. So that's another 1 damage. Can I get a con save?
Absolutely. That's going to be 17.
What is my number? I should remember my number. Okay, that's a save, so you're not prevented from doing the thing yet, but...
He's saved on every single one of the things in this fight. I will just say he has a very small bonus, because I'm committed to him to statistically being just kind of a businessman, just a normal, innocent man. So I think it's very funny.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We're still we're gonna let me look at my thing. I got full spell slots, so yeah, so I can do another branding smite for a bonus action. So that's another here. So that's another 3d8. 13 more damage plus another con save.
Oh no. 10, that's failure.
That is a fail. The Baron is blinded.
All right. So the blinding, so sea slugs don't really have very powerful eyes to begin with, but they do have the rhinophores that we've been talking about. I've talked about them especially with Porter because she has wiggly bunny ones, but they're sensory organs on top of the head, which are blasted by your smite and would be disorienting to him. And he just laughs and says, Hermana, you're so clever. You're busting out all the stops. You're solving all my riddles. But I have some riddles you don't know about. And he reaches up with the razor and cuts his head off.
Aha! What do I roll to understand what the fuck is happening?
Nature.
Oh, is he gonna grow a second of himself?
Let's get nature before I answer that question.
6. I'm confused as hell.
You're shocked and appalled. Yeah. I would say Barbella has no fucking idea.
I didn't realize he was that much of a coward. He was just gonna nope out of the fight halfway through, deny me the win.
But did Quinn get it right?
Yeah, so some sea slugs, it depends, but basically some sea slugs, in order to get rid of parasites, can just cut parts of their body off, including their own heads. They can literally decapitate themselves. Their bodies will grow back. But what's wild is the body they cut off can live for up to 2 weeks without a head.
Damn.
So you blind part of his body. He doesn't need that anymore. It's distracting. He gets rid of it.
The ocean's wild.
Pretty chilling.
So wait, so what bit of him is like planning to attack me still?
Yeah, his headless body grabs the reins of the marlin and darts back into the roots with the razor.
Is that how it works? No brain attached, no messages. They can still just kind of do shit.
So in real life, the bodies can't do much, but they are still alive. Presumably, they can't do much more than fight. But yeah, I mean, this is a world of magic and mysteries. So.
Does he at least take some damage for cutting his own fucking head off?
I will say I'm keeping track of all the damage. You're doing very well. At the end of the order, wisdom save as the sonar just rips through your brain.
That's a botch. That's 5.
Oh no! With a botch, what happens is you are so disoriented, you're gonna just straight up lose your turn. He comes out of the roots.
You sure I can't use Misty Step to avoid this?
Full blast, the marlin, 70 miles per hour, roars past you. He strikes you on the cheek with the razor, 4 damage.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, so actually that was his turn. Then you're going to skip your turn. He's going to hit you again for 8. But before that, his head is like floating away, and he's still talking to you through the banana badge. And he says, "You seem convinced that riddles are some beautiful, positive force in the world. And I envy you that. All I can see when I look at the world is all these dark, terrible riddles. Why do children get cancer? Why do people go hungry? Why is the ocean filled with poison? Answer me these riddles, Barbella, if you're so smart."
Because people like you greedily search for the things you want without any thought to what the damage you're doing to the world around you. Like, I can't speak for kids with cancer, but I can sure speak for the kind of people that are dumping pollution in the ocean. I imagine you'd get on very well with. This is a world that is not always positive, it is not always filled with great answers. But to stop searching for a positive answer is to give up on hope. And I am not doing that.
You didn't answer my other riddle then. Do you think you'd pass a vibe check and come back? Your hands so stained with blood? Because I think I would. I brought my people up from poverty and darkness, and I gave them jobs and hope.
I would hope that anyone performing a vibe check would see through the one step separated from the bullshit veneer that you put out there in the world. And I know that what I've done would be visible to anyone vibe checking, and I want to live a life where if I failed to be vibe checked and wasn't brought back, I could be confident that I made the first life count. Also, I don't even know if I can come back at this point. That's a whole other question, but,
Yeah, have you been using your ribbon eels in any of your attacks, or this is like the next one that you're gonna employ them somehow? Because you take 8 damage, and then it's your turn again.
Yeah, I think now that the element of surprise that Barbella is capable of hitting him has gone, has definitely worn off. I think Barbella is going to let the ribbon eels start going and go. I have no idea if I've used up my one chance of coming back already or not. So whether I would get judged well or not on a vibe check, I'm making this one count. Barbella's going to start swinging again.
All right, here we go.
So, no disadvantage because I missed a turn instead. So, 17 and 14?
Both hit, no armor.
Cool. Plus Strike of the Giant, Storm Strike. Another 4 damage. Come on, fail that con save. Please.
16.
I think you're fine, aren't you? Okay. Blinding. I can't blinding smite, but I can still branding smite. So let's add another 2d6. That's another 9 radiant damage. The Baron is now shedding a dim light in a 5-foot radius and cannot become invisible until the spell ends. So if at any point a plan of make myself invisible to bail and survive was on the table, that's now not there. Plus, I've got a bonus action left still, so I've got to work out if I've got anything left to spend that on.
All right, his body is glowing as your two mounts are kind of like dancing. They're like, wrapped in combat, like raptors in the air, as they go deeper and deeper into the roots. And you're like, everything is so dark, and the roots are like coiling around you. You're constantly being like hit in the face by them, I should say. There's just like different, thin whip-like ones. There's like thick woody ones. There's probably thorns here and there, and you're just crashing through them.
Yeah, cool. I've not done this in a bit. Bonus action, Fury of the Tides, to knock the Baron back 10 feet to try and knock them into something.
Is that strength save?
I don't believe there's a roll. I think it's just, once per turn, I can choose to push a creature hit by my weapon attack 10 feet away from myself. 50 damage total, including the 3 for being pushed into something.
All right, yeah. You hit him with the crab leg, you hit him with the ribbon eels, you hit him with a fire and holy light. You're battering the body, and then you slam it up against something in the dark here. And then you can see him glowing with the holy smite you put on him. And what you have thrown him into, you assumed just another brambly, woody root of some giant tree on the island. But then the light glints off of it strangely, and the thing moves.
Uh-huh. What is it, Austin? What have I bothered for 3 HP?
Religion roll?
Oh, fuck. Are
you entering a fight with the riddle snake?
22.
You see a huge iridescent coil of a riddlefish move through the darkness as you realize you are surrounded by both a infinite number of roots and an infinite numbers of the beautiful, powerful coils that you've only ever seen at a great distance.
Oh, okay, thankfully the riddlefish is like a deity. 3 damage is barely a fly landed on your arm. I think it'll be fine. I don't think I've pissed them off yet.
But all around you now, you are hyper aware of movement in the dark, roots and scales, everything bearing down on you as the Baron's body kind of tries to sit up. It's very badly battered from that attack you just did. And the Baron says, Senora, I don't think either of us are getting out of here. So I have a riddle for you if you're so clever.
Do you have an actual riddle for me, or is it gonna be some bullshit you say where it's like, you're gonna die?
It's a famous riddle, a classic.
You gonna tell me this classic riddle, or?
What's in my pocket?
Should I know what's in your pocket?
Do you give up?
No. Barbella looks.
You swim over to the body and you look in the Baron's pocket?
I don't look in the Baron's pocket. Where are the Baron's hands right now?
One is holding the reins of his Marlin and one is holding the Razor Clan.
Okay, so it's not my hand is in my pocket. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a big fan of riddles without a set answer, friend.
Ain't that just the way of the world? Do you give up?
There's water in your pocket.
Okay, you know what? Fuck you, Laura. I was just doing a bit there. That's just a reference to the famous riddle scene in Lord of the Rings. But you know what? You fucking got my ass. You know what? You fucking got my ass. Honestly, you did. And you know what? The riddle snake coils begin constricting down on the two of you. He slashes you for 16 damage, but it's your turn, and you are pretty close to him at this point, and I will just say he looks beat to shit. He was trying to trick you to look in his pocket so he could cut your throat. You got his ass though. Go fucking bananas on him.
Okay, what? So I just took 16, did you say?
Correct.
Yeah. Barbella is gonna look to the Baron and say, usually this is the point where I would beg and plead for, there's got to be some non-violent way we can do this. But a person like you that insists they've done nothing wrong because they used someone else's hands for each crime they did is not someone I could ever trust to walk away and not just keep doing everything you've been doing. Barbella is going to start swinging. Now I need at least one of these to hit so that monologue break doesn't, super embarrass me. Okay, 19 and 30 to hit.
Yeah, you can roll the damage if you want. I'm going to say I don't think there's any mathematical way he survives. My question isn't lethal or non-lethal. It's, do you let the Marlin go?
Yeah, Barbella has no qualms with the Marlin.
Okay, so you pay me the picture of your art violets because you've won convincingly. I can't believe you got me. That was
I'm glad you let me get away with that. I was grasping at straws, if I'm honest.
That's a famous thing, and it's in The Hobbit, right, where they're doing the riddle contest, and is it Bilbo? Mm-hmm. How he wins the ring from Gollum is he says, "What's in my pocket?" And that's fucking cheat. It's cheating.
Yeah, but no. See, the thing is I looked up like famous unanswerable riddles. I've been aware of this as a thing, and I've seen people who've come up with ways you can introduce those that have a canonical answer to them, which is why I was fishing around with the hand, because I know sometimes that's a way that people play with it. But I was like, I'm gonna find something. Yeah, Barbella initially goes to look to close her eyes at the swing, and then stops and looks. Because if she's gonna do this, she needs to not shy away from the fact she's done it. She locks eyes and swings. No big grand flourishes, no anything more to it, just crab leg to the face.
Well, his face is gone. He is headless.
Sorry. No grand flourishes, just crab leg right through the torso.
All right. So you can cleave his body in half and take the marlin and swim away. And I will say that the riddlefish at this point crushes what's left because he can regrow. That's something that's important here, which is interesting. There's a version of this where you kind of don't know that, and you leave some of his body behind, and he comes back. Something, yeah. I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm glad the riddlefish perceived that was a thing that needed to happen, and B, had my back. That's reassuring. It's reassuring that I did a murder in holy ground, and God was like, hey, I got your back, I'll stop him fucking you up, don't worry about it. I'll clean up your little bit of, not quite efficient murder you did.
In fact, as you ride back to town on your dragon-faced pipefish through the darkness and through the roots of Banyan Island, the banana badge speaks up for the last time, and Baron Valenzuela says to you, Sister Barbella, I see it. I see it.
I hope it brings you peace.
The end. The end of the snake. I see it.
Yeah?
It's beautiful.
Is it a root?
The line goes dead.
Regardless of answer, Barbella feels in her heart that she knows.
Reaper,
Doy.
you are racing Master Evers to the Cape Heart Trench. Is there anything you want to do or roll as you are literally sprinting on the clear blue water of the sea?
Yeah, I don't know why. The first thought that came to mind is the idea of doing like a sleight of hand check. Like Reaper and Evers get there like so close to each other, it's almost like a wrist fight to like try to stop him if he is trying to make an attack or something like that. Like almost something to kind of disable someone.
Yeah, so I think I understand what you're saying is like you're trying to roll to take his bracelet off so he gets sick and dies. I think
No. That's not what I'm trying to suggest. I'm trying to suggest almost like a grappling contest, I guess maybe is closer to what I'm going for. Like they're like neck and neck, but Reaper can't get ahead of him necessarily. Like she's the fastest she's gonna get, so she's just trying to like tangle with him at this point.
Okay, yeah, you want to do a contest here?
Sure, I have no idea what it'll be, but go for it.
Yeah, let's do sleight of hand.
Oh, that one's okay.
I got a 19.
25 crit?
Fuck off.
I mean, the 19 was really good, so I really kind of was like, why do I even try?
I mean,
Who cares?
good effort, Master. I mean, Evers, you know.
Wow. Okay, so I'm kind of picturing it. Is this too silly? Like you're running on the surface and he's running under the surface, like upside down, like almost feet to feet. Is that anything?
No, I think that's extremely cool. The only way this could be more perfect is we've never established Reaper Havities, but like in this moment, can I be doing that ice skating thing that Shadow does when he runs?
Hell yeah.
And in my mind, this is our version of the run into their final boss fight from Sonic Adventure 2.
Absolutely, yeah. So with a crit, you can do whatever you want here. I will say the scene is yours to paint with. You don't just instantly win, but like, help me. What's going on here, Quinn?
I think there's like that moment where they both dive. Like they're like going at an even pace now to the end. It's now the diving portion. So now they're just like neck and neck. And I think there's a moment of like sort of jockeying for like sort of hand position. Austin, you're a former defensive lineman. You know how important hands are to like
Rip and swim.
Exactly. You got to get the one over on your opponent, and that's what Reaper finally does. She manages to get around and uses that momentum to put herself in front of Evers, who's like about to throw a punch, and she's doing the Sonic finger wag move.
All right, yeah. So you're falling down into the trench towards the Cape Heart's home. This is the first arc where it started. This is literally the first episode ended as you stepped into this crevasse. So what do you want to do here? Do you want to roll initiative and do a traditional fight as you fall, or do you want to do a series of checks?
I have a suggestion, Austin. I don't know if you want it or not. I love the idea of these two having an extraordinarily fast fight, like just full on, like, here are my attacks, which ones hit, here's the number, just back and forth as though this is just like one of those, monk fights that's just a flurry of blows.
It's the Dragon Ball Z fight where the light balls bouncing about in the sky.
Yeah, like this is when they're just like exchanging blows in this like crazy fast way. Because I think I am perfectly accepting that I might just lose a one-on-one fight, but I think there's interesting ways to tell this story no matter which way this goes.
I agree, yeah. So do you want to roll initiative and then just trade blows?
Yeah, sure.
I got it. Ooh, an 8.
23. Sucks to suck, loser.
All right.
Yeah, spending a key point to do as many attacks as possible, and then
Holy shit.
Assuming one of them hits, I'm going to do a stunning strike. So 23, 31, 23, and a 10 botch.
So all of them except for the botch hit, obviously. So that's interesting. Yeah, roll some damage on me.
36 damage.
All right, and then what's the check I need to make for stunning strike?
It's a Constitution saving throw, and you're trying to meet or beat a 16.
All right. 14. Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, okay. I know the botch consequences. He doesn't immediately get stunned because you would just stun lock and kill him before he gets a shot off. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, so paint this picture. You're running off the surface. You get the advantage. You throw him down. You're in the trench. What does this opening gambit look like?
Yeah, I think she comes at Evers with a fury that Master Evers hasn't really ever seen before. He's known her as like an angry teenager. Like he's seen that side of her, like the petulance and everything like that, the arrogance. But there's a moment where there's like a true fire in her eyes because I think she has learned to accept, the K parts and maybe, sort of the larger Zolfo as an aspect of family to her. So like there is just a moment of just like, oh shit, like I wasn't familiar with your game. Like I didn't realize this actually meant this much to you.
Yeah, you're beating the snot out of him, and it is only through his incredibly intense Hadal Zone training that his body doesn't crumple under your attacks. And he is going to return your blows 30, 21, 13.
First to hit.
All right, and you are going to take 18 damage as he bites through your body with his extremely long glass-like teeth and says, "Yes, stronger, faster, look what I've created."
To check, is that considered piercing damage?
Yes.
Okay, so that's double to 36.
Oh no, Quinn.
I established this character had a weakness.
Beautiful, beautiful. No consequences. We love it. You're tied together, spiraling down into the darkness in a fucking cloud of blood now. It's your turn.
Yeah, so I'm doing the same thing again. A crit.
Oh,
No!
No! A 14 and a 12.
Come on!
I'm assuming the first two hit.
No, my Viperossi. Come on.
It's going to be 47 damage, and then another stunning strike is going to be used.
Oh my god. Wait, fuck me. 13.
Yeah, she succeeds in the stun lock then, and she's coming at this hard. This is something he hasn't seen before. He has never seen her fight this ferociously. So just another rally of attacks then. 16, 24, 28, and 20.
I'm so proud of you. My daughter. My masterpiece. What the fuck?
Yeah. Do you want me to be rolling damage? Okay.
Wreck me up. Like I didn't fudge any of
34.
this. This is real. He has the same stats he did last time when it took a whole group.
34.
Lethal or non-lethal?
Non-lethal. I think there is a moment where Reaper, maybe before this, would have said lethal. Because she would have been like, is this like the guy just crazy? Is he always going to come after me? And I think there's a moment where she's finally come to understand Evers, but also is very sad for him. So I think there's just a moment of like, she's just pummeling Evers to the point where he's like passing out. And I don't know if this would hurt him or not, but like, I feel like the last thing he sees before he passes out is just Reaper looking kind of disappointed and sad.
Finally, you're so strong. You can take care of yourself. I can rest now.
Who said you get to die? Losers don't get to pick. I'm gonna wake him up. He's trying to die on me. Fuck him. He doesn't get that.
You don't need me anymore. Your training is complete.
Just because I've surpassed you doesn't mean you're done. I'm about to travel this entire world. Don't you think I'm gonna learn new tricks by then? Don't you want to see how much stronger I can get?
Yeah, I mean, you triple crit. What's better than that? You really fucked my ass up completely.
And I'm gonna fuck it up even more after I visit that spooky town.
Oh my god. Okay, I mean, feel free to add anything here. I was imagining when you two hit the ground, the trench, the Cape Hearts would come out to sea, and like either they would see, Ever standing over your fucking broken body, or you over him dead, and instead you're like waking him up. So I don't know. What do you think's going on?
In my mind, I don't know how to describe this other than to say, and I never would have expected this at the start of the season, can these two have like a Ryu and Sagat relationship where like at first it was like a blood feud and now they're just homies who respect each other?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a man who has spent his entire life literally in the dark, like in the bottom of the world, completely isolated, essentially insane from not being socialized. And he has a strange mind, but in his own abusive way, he did just want to make you strong enough because the world is so fucking scary. And yeah, I think he is open to that. I was 100% also being like, no, this guy is a creep and you should blow his head off, but it's up to you.
I think there's a level that Reaper sees that's like, he did get to see what it's like on the surface. Like, he has an opportunity now to kind of like be free of something that like caused him to like shelter down and be away from so many people. And I think there's a part of her that did just kind of prove a little bit that her philosophy was better than Ever's. And there's a part of her that's like, I want you to have the opportunity to discover that for yourself, especially now that you have the whole world open up to you. Like, it's like a moment of growth and mercy from her.
As the Cape Hearts trickle over, a couple at a time to see what's going on, the twins run over and they're, punching each other with their boxing gloves as usual and saying, weak, weak, weak. And then they start punching Evers in the head with their little baby fists. Weak, 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 weak.
You heard them, Evers. You better take a short nap there.
Oh my god. I did not know that's how that was going to go.
Meanwhile, over in Boyce Land, he is running away like a coward being chased by a small army, it feels like.
Yeah, well, this episode could have gone in a ton of different ways. I don't have any expectations. How do you get out of this?
Okay. There's three ideas I have in my arsenal. One is just try to do like enough damage / manipulation of like the environment to try to like delay and slow them down, like using mold earth at every instance I can to just sort of move like mounds of dirt, mounds of sand behind me to kind of create some terrain for them to navigate around. Probably not going to help too much. Secondly would be to use various spells that can do like area of effect stuff. Like I have a free use of Tasha's Caustic Brew, which can do like some damage, but that is a concentration spell, so I'm kind of like that. The other idea I was thinking of, like, I was trying to remember of that thing that we ran into when we passed through Lucius's ranch, that like area with the heavy water, that little hole thing there. I'm like, could I lure the people chasing me into that?
Oh, the brine pool. I completely fucking forgot.
Yeah, so here is what I have as a plan for that. Because the manifested mind can pass through creatures but not objects, the idea would be to find a brine pool, run towards it, duck down, and then have the manifest mind take Boyce's coat into the brine pool to look like he's like going in there, and then lure, the men in there to like keep them distracted for a bit.
Yo, I never in a million years. Give me, 1,000 monkeys, 1,000 typewriters. Never would have thought of that. So advantage on deception to lead your pursuers into a brine pool.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let's see here. Let's where's the deception here? That's only a 7, unfortunately. I've been rolling like shit for this whole thing.
Yeah, Reaper sucked up all the luck. That's a good idea, though. I think some of them fall for it.
I mean, I have a backup plan for it, though.
Okay, yeah, hit me.
Well, actually, let me double check here. Do I have a backup plan for it there? Because I'm trying to think here of like, no. If I'm in the brine pool, I can't do verbal component spells. So I can't do that per se. But I can, I guess I do have a similar solution to last time, is I can kind of like back up to the edge of the brine pool and then thunder step to the other side of it while they're all nearby, cornering Boyce.
Yeah. So with this 9, they're still in pursuit. Maybe you slow them down a little bit. Some of them don't realize what's going on and pass through the deoxygenated water and asphyxiate a little bit. But you've done your second thunder step, which is interesting to me because that causes a huge bomb-like explosion. Can I get, let's say, performance? I know you're not technically performing, let's just give me that die. I want to look at it. I want to look at
7.
it with my eyes. Yeah. I will say that a shot rings out and nothing happens, but that's the second one. And you're leaving a trail of big sounds, I will say.
In this case here, Boyce is just trying to get distance, and that is a longer teleport. I mean, he can transpose the damage type to something else, but it probably still makes the sound of what's going on. So it could be doing like acid damage as opposed to thunder damage, but it's still going to make the sound when he does it. And, keeps, trying to run and follow the trail that the detect magic can get him. He's burned through most of his spell slots at this point here because he's trying to find out where Elfago is, and all of his rolls have been just terrible for this entire sequence. So,
yeah, this is very dire. I will say that you heard Porter say she was going to go check on the prisoner who is working on the spell, so you assume that's Elfago. That's where you're going. That's correct. You're doing you're going in the right direction. The rolls are just a little too bad to escape your pursuer. So at this point, they are just going to shoot at you randomly. So I'm going to do a couple of rolls here.
Sure.
24 and 13.
24 hits, 13 misses.
All right. You're going to take only 4 damage, bad roll, as the way cowboys just on the plains will just take pot shots at their quarry. You're running.
Boyce will aim back and do a ray of frost back at the one that hits him. That is a 30.
That's a big hit.
Yeah, for 11 cold damage.
Yeah, combined with those 2 thunder attacks you've done so far, I think that probably takes at least one guy out. So, theoretically, you could turn and fight. I just think you don't have the hit points. I mean, it's up to you.
Boyce has 67 hit points right now. So he has some. The big thing here is that most of his other spells that would be really useful for this are he only has 4 spell slots left, period. So most what he'd be doing would be throwing out cantrips, which is it's just not going to be a huge swing for damage. He can target 2 people at a time with Acid Splash and kind of use that to wear people down. But that's basically what he will just have to keep on doing, trying to move, trying to throw distractions. I think at this point it's fair to say that Boyce's duster jacket that he's been running around with is gone. So Boyce has no hat, no jacket, and he's just running with his stuff and with the Manifest Mind kind of in close proximity as he's, doing the best he can tonight, not just either pass out or just get run over by the pursuers.
Yeah, that's not good. I rolled an 8 at that one, so a magic bullet wings off a rock nearby as the pursuers are getting back on the trail.
Boyce swings around, flick of fingers, Acid Splash. That is a dexterity save versus 20 for 2 of them.
17?
That will not do it, so that's 4 acid damage to 2 of them.
Do you have an idea of something you would do if you got rid of the detect magic?
Things I could do is throwing a Tasha's Caustic Brew on as a line on all of them, which would give them a lingering 2d4 damage every turn for a minute.
I was gonna say, you could turn the fact that you have limited spell slots into the drama of it, and it's just can you save 1 spell slot to just explode Porter the second you find her?
Yeah.
Because she has gone down once already.
Yeah. So I guess kind of in this desperation state, Boyce might have to be trying try to like look to see how far the detect magic kind of leads. Takes a small breath, then and here's how I'm going to flavor this. From the perspective of the guys following Boyce, he's still looking ahead and running, but then the manifest mind hovers right behind Boyce's back, and like its eyes glimmer, and a casting of Tasha's Caustic Brew shoots out in a 30-foot line straight through like a bunch of them as they come up close to him.
All right. A 22.
All right. That is, there's no damage for that. Now, granted, I didn't use a spell slot, so, like, that's fine, but that's like, okay, that burns off the concentration for, detect magic. And Boyce is, again, kind of whittling down on what he has on his arsenal here. Let's see.
This is kind of a badass, fistful of dollars down to a 6-shooter and a poncho kind of last stand.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any explosives or anything on my person I can catapult into the crowd there.
If you did like an animal handling to like try to guide them into the, what is it, thunder that's coming down?
It's just that when casting Thunder Step, that's causing those thunderous explosions there. So it's not like there's a persistent thunder going on here. So looking at my next sort of set of tools I could use to try to deal with a group of them is using a 2nd level spell slot, throwing back an ice knife at the group to try to scatter a bunch of them. So that's going to be an attack roll of 17.
Yep.
Against one of them.
That hits.
So they'll take 3 piercing damage, and then everyone around them has to do a DC 20 dexterity save.
20.
They take no damage from the save there.
All right, you take out another guy, and someone else shoots you 14.
Misses.
All right, you've taken out like half a dozen, but they're still coming.
That's another 5 damage they take automatically, and while that's happening, Boyce will throw another ray of frost at one of them. That's a botch 13.
Oh no. Okay, with the botch, they get around you and they encircle you on their horses, and they have all their wands trained on you. And one of the banana boys just says, "This is like an iridescent leaf sheep nudibranch, a very beautiful green sea slug man." It just says, "All right, enough of that. On your knees, hands behind your head. We're taking you back."
Do they bother taking care of the acid on them during this whole thing?
No, right now they're just trying to stop you, so they're prioritizing taking you prisoner.
Sure. Right, they'll be taking damage then for another 8 more instances then.
All right. I mean, one of them will butt you in the back of the head with a wand, like a pistol whip. I guess that's not going to hit your AC, is it?
Nope. They take another 6 damage.
Okay. I mean, you're being...
And that's for each person affected by the spell.
Sure. I mean, you're being pretty cool for a wizard. Pretty badass is that there's 20 guys pointing guns at you, and you're just you're being like, actually, fuck you.
Boy's just like, listen. All I want to do is I need to get to the other prisoner. All right.
Yeah, we know that's why we can't let you go, because we need to be able to threaten you so that the fucking bug guy will do the spell. We say, do the spell or we're going to cut your fucking friend's head off. That's how it works. Shut up. Put hands behind your head.
You all are more than welcome to homes of your own, places of your own, and what I have planned.
Yeah, and we're welcome to the homes that the Baron's going to give us when he can control the very seabed itself, I think. That's what I'm hearing from the nerds, is they're going to have the spell that can reshape the entire town. And we can take all the vents and all the good land to grow clams on. Yeah, we're going to we already have everything. You can't bargain with us. What are you talking about?
I mean, well, that's well and good, but what if the Baron isn't around anymore?
Well, that's not going to happen, so what are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know. I will tell you what, I've been hearing things from the Baron this whole time, and all of a sudden I heard something about, well, I mean, don't the rest of you have ways of hearing the words from the Baron as well?
I mean, the Baron can communicate with us through the badges. I mean, he's not talking to us now. It's not like one big party line.
Like, here's the funniest thing would be like reveal, like be like, call in Lucius to kind of come in out of nowhere. But I don't know if Lucius would be the type to help come in to save Boyce in this situation here. But
he is the only other person whose number you know. So,
to say the very least, if Boyce has been able to be in communication with Lucius this whole time, I think part of what Boyce has been trying to do is communicate to Lucius where he is at any moment to get like some sort of backup in here, you know, pleading with Lucius to come and help in this case.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't your plan all along, right?
I like we mentioned that earlier with like Barbella, like, oh wait, yeah, I still have that badge, right?
Yeah, I mean, paint me the picture, because you had that whole scene with Lucius where he renounced the Banana Boys.
Yeah, so basically, I like to think of Boyce just kind of like keeping up kind of his sort of defiant sort of stance. They tell him to eat sand. Boyce moves his fingers and uses mold earth to right on the dirt in front of him, eat this right back to the person that's on.
And 5 of the Banana Barons, Banana Business Boys' heads explode as Lucius snipes them from a ridge because he's the #1 crack shot.
And then like Boyce actually ducks when that happens because he's kind of caught off guard by how those heads explode. Just like, but then he kind of looks, and then he just looks back to the others that remain. It's like, it's gonna be hard for you to be in anyone's house if your head's missing. They're just, you're free to go back if you want.
So the Barons, Banana Boys, wheel around on their mounts are going to go try to fight Lucius. But when you say that, one of them just shoots you point blank. 16?
Just barely passes the AC there, but yeah, go ahead.
All right. Oh my God, I rolled a 1 on that damage die. That'd have been way cooler if it had hurt.
I ray of frost back at him.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So he thinks he's gonna execute the prisoner cool style. It's an in and out, clean flesh blow. Nothing important to hit, and then you just turn him into a fucking popsicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Like hands are still behind the back, and then like he ducks back, fingers come out, the Yu Yu Hakusho type gesture. Ice comes out and freezes the guy in front of him before he gets up and tries to continue running in the direction he kind of gleaned from the detect magic tracings.
All right, Boyce, do you run off to let Lucius fight the Baron's Business Banana Boys?
Oh, he gets up at the very least, starts to go the direction, and then once he gets a few steps away from like the crowd, he turns and it's like, I really can't just let that favor go completely unrewarded there. And he will engage with the others to help Lucius at least clear these guys off in his own way. So
I will say, if you turn back, you feel a rumbling in the ground and you see the seabed begin to split in the direction we were going to go, where the detect magic was leading you.
I'm trying to think of how I can like throw at least a passing thing on the way out to try to help Lucius then. As Boyce does need to kind of like make his way to there, because if the spell goes off, that's basically game over for Boyce in this case here.
That's game over for everything. If Porter can control the Earth itself, this is a 9th level spell, this terraforming. It's basically the equivalent of like time stop for this sort of stuff.
Boyce will burn his last first level spell to use Guiding Bolt on one of the people in the fight to give Lucius like a cleaner line of sight for everything. That's 25.
Hell yeah.
It's 12 damage on that, and then that one target just like glows. And you know what? Let's make that glow permanent on that target there.
All right, you shoot that guy in the back, and then as you head towards the source of the earthquake, or the sea quake, as it were, Lucius yells after you, "Tell Reaper I shot 5 guys at 200 meters. It was sick as fuck."
Don't worry, Lucius. I'll make sure your message gets to her loud and clear.
I think it's kind of funny that Lucius has bought into a legitimate rivalry with a teenager.
I mean, he's a young adult. It's not...
Yeah, I know. I more mean like, aren't you above this, my guy?
Yeah, he's like Tom Brady, and you're like Patrick Mahomes, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
You're the new hotness.
Okay.
Yeah, Boyce, you follow where the tech magic was taking you. It's no longer a mystery because the earth itself, the seabed, is rippling like the surface of a pond as this spell is beginning to take effect. In the distance, you can see what used to be a cave full of sponges. This is where Barbella had that meeting with the Banana Baron. But the cave has been disassembled like a Minecraft, terrain or something. The whole thing's been peeled back. The area around here is like a kid playing with a sand castle as the ground shifts and raises and lowers. It's being kind of torn apart, and in the middle of this catastrophe, you see Porter the sea bunny sitting in a pile of sponges, like a 2-story tall pile of sea sponges. For some reason, she is glowing, and from her, she is the epicenter of basically the disaster. As the ground ripples underneath you, you see like tiny sea mounts, like underwater mountains, rise and fall, valleys open and close, as she's almost getting a handle on this spell.
Okay, I'm debating how fast I should pull this gambit, but I think the situation is kind of forcing the hand a little bit here.
Yeah, there was a time element. So like if you had crit on your animal handling check, jumped on your mount and got here right away, maybe she would be much earlier in it, but that was like a long drawn out survival scene. So she is pretty close.
All right. One of the big things about Porter is that a lot of focus of her casting is through all the different objects that she has on her person, right?
Yeah, on her rhinophores, they're
Yes.
her ear-like projections.
So what I want to do is once I'm within range, I want to use my last spell slot to cast Shatter focused on her to destroy every item on her person.
That's very ambitious. I will roll. I will say I don't think it's going to be that simple, but I like where you're heading with it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to roll
Constitution save, yes.
She's just a little birthday girl. She has bad an 8.
That's 19 thunder damage on her, and yeah, it normally it won't like work against magical objects and stuff like this, but this is like Boyce's only like real gambit with his last spell slot to do something to, one, disrupt the spell being cast the way it is, but also to try to weaken what Porter has, as he now has 0 spell slots at this point.
All right, I'm going to roll a concentration check, 11. So she's going to fail there, huh?
No. So concentration checks, concentration checks is 10 or half the damage, whichever is higher. So it would be, this case, the DC is 10 in this case.
All right, she hangs on. So I will say the blast kind of knocks her to the side. She kind of slips, or she was sitting in the pile of sponges, and her body falls down into them. She almost blends in because she is like a fluffy, fuzzy like creature. But you hear her curse. She says, "Fucking Boyce, you back here again, you stupid asshole." And then you see out of your peripheral vision a ball rolling towards you. It is Elfago, the Isopod Thrycreen.
Yeah. Boyce would just be like, I'm sorry I'm late. We got sidelined and I got held prisoner, and it took everything I had to just get here.
As you say that, I will say when you blasted Porter, like the seabed rising and falling, the valleys opening and closing, all that stuff kind of shudders and stutters and doesn't continue for a moment, and now it has restarted. And as you're saying that to Alfego, he unrolls and leaps at you as Porter just screams, "Bring me his fucking tongue!" 18.
That
as
will hit.
Fago grasps onto you, eyes like rolled back in his head, clearly under some kind of magical control.
Okay, that hits.
4 damage as he bites you.
Okay. So Boyce, gets hit by that. He will try to, he will try to disengage from Alfego then and get closer to where Porter is to see if he can get a line of shot at her to get her to lose concentration on whatever spells she has concentration on.
All right, so are you going to take an attack of opportunity here?
I'm going to use the disengage action on this turn, so I won't.
All right. What's going to happen is Alfego's going to keep chasing you and biting you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going to keep getting closer, then that's what we're doing here.
Fair enough. I guess in this case here, I think I will take the attack of opportunity on the first blush then.
9.
That will miss.
All right, now you are free to attack Porter.
And Boyce will follow up with, let's try Ray of Frost in this case.
Sounds good.
That's a 15.
That's gonna hit. That's 15 is what I needed.
4 damage.
All right, not very much. I mean, I can roll the Constitution save here.
Yep.
10, she saves. She is kind of in this pile of sponges, peeking out while you're shooting at her, and she's just, saying, "Why won't you leave me alone? You're so obsessed. You're a little stalker. I'm so sick of you."
I've been working at this idea for decades, and I'm not going to let it slip out of my hands now. Least of all for someone that I spared from death moments ago.
Tell someone who cares, nerd.
All right. Just like,
yeah.
yes. All right.
Alfego tries to tackle you. 23.
That will hit.
4 damage.
Yeah. No concentration spells for Boyce, so he'll just keep pushing forward then.
Yep, so Porter's 100% focused on finishing the terraforming spell. If she succeeds, then she can just make the ground eat you. She essentially becomes like a god within 500 miles.
Right.
There's no save, you just die. The actual person fighting you is Alfego, who isn't a trained fighter but has a scary mouth and is going to keep biting you.
Yeah, but in this case here, fighting Alfego is not the correct solution because we need to stop the terraforming from happening here. So, any cost. So, Boyce will take an opportunity attack so he can attack without disadvantage and is going to do another Ray of Frost afterwards.
All right, there we go. I botched.
All right. I mean, outside of just missing, what consequence could happen from Alfego missing? I would say that he gets stuck in the ground for a round. So,
I mean, I would say that you could take him out of dominate person.
Well, sure. If you're going to allow that much, sure. I think he comes in and then Boyce I don't know, elbow checks him or pushes at him in such a way that snaps him out from the dominate person that's underneath him,
Yeah, is there any specific connection that you have to him that you can pull on? Any thing that would bring him back to his senses?
Being like, listen, Alfego, listen, I know we haven't been friends for too long, but we've already done so much good for the town, you and I. And this is your idea. This is your spell. And if even though it took you dying and coming back again, are you going to let it just slip away from your claws in this moment to be taken credit by someone else who doesn't even respect your work, your intellect, your personhood?
I think Porter says behind you, "Oh my God, do you even hear yourself? Why you always give these big speeches? Aren't you embarrassed? How do you go through life?"
I go through life knowing that I have been loved, that I can love, and will continue to love until my last days go by. And that's why I'm doing this.
Elfago gets up in your face like he's about to use his mouth to rip your tongue out. And he says, "I do not think we can take her. The sponges are full of material components. They've been storing them for experiments. But this spell, it did kill me last time."
I don't know if it will kill her or not, but I'm not willing to risk it, you know?
As you're saying, like, as he's saying this, Porter like forms a active molten volcano in the distance, drops, a 10-mile trench, creates a whirlpool in a chasm in the ground. It's like any moment this is gonna pop off.
So, ways being said here, it's like, okay, is it possible to hijack the spell as it being cast?
That is what Elfago is saying. He's saying that anyone who tries that potentially will die. You, Porter, him, the three of you can struggle for this spell. It's just the consequences of bad rolls are you become terraformed.
Boyce looks at Elfago and then looks over to the face of Ollie in the manifested mind. And then just says, "If this spell takes me out, Elfago, make sure to enjoy what's still around here after it's successful, all right?"
You mean the hell world that the Banana Boys will create, where they own everything and we are slaves?
No. I mean the world that I'm saying that even if it kills me, I'm going to make this spell work. And I'm going to make sure that the world that Ollie and I had been planning on becomes a reality for you and everyone else here.
Ah, damn, that is cool. All right. Do you want me to try to help, or are you taking this one, champ?
If you can do anything to distract Porter a little bit, kind of throw her off her groove. I don't know if I have everything I need, but I have my plans for what the world should look like, for what the city and the gig should look like. And I got you and Ollie by my side. So that's about all I need, I think.
All right. Let it rip, architect.
I was say Boyce then stands up, pulls out his, book of spells and stuff like that, with the manifested mind floating nearby, and flips over to the pages that outlines Ollie's original designs for Zalfo and the gig. So the entire design. And Boyce holds up the book, focuses his attention on every inch of how the place should look in his mind, and effectively tries to hijack this terraforming spell as it's being casted with everything he has left in the tank, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, your clothes are completely crusty with blood. You were shot 6 times.
Yep. Boyce does not have his hat. Boyce doesn't have his jacket, so it's just shirt, suspenders, belt, pants, shoes. He has his spell book, which is already kind of tattered up and has stuff. He has the face of this manifested face nearby. Maybe as he's trying to focus, the manifested mind sort of changes shape to take on more of the shape of Ollie's body and form, almost, to stand next to him as he does this. As he tries to, pull off.
All right, for the finale of Wet Team, Arcana contest.
All right.
10.
22.
How does Wet Team end?
I mean, the idea is that Barbella and Reaper could both be witness to this. What they will see, there will be a rumbling in the Zolfo area. As if Barbella and Reaper were to look in the area, what they see is almost a rupturing of the ground before pillars of sand jut up around the perimeter of the island, encompassing all the undeveloped areas of Zolfo. The structures take on a variety of shapes and forms as if they're sculpted like sand sculptures on the beach. And then, with almost a gleam of light, they then instantly shift into a variety of materials, structures, and shapes, all pristine in their presentation and form. A variety of buildings suited for a myriad of underwater species and people set up in various blocks and forms. In addition, any structures that had been damaged during the strife that has been filling Zolfo seems to be meticulously corrected with structures with sand forming over structures before solidifying into materials to restore them to their intended original form or improve to their intended designed form. And even up the island on the island Banyan and along the gig, sand, the ground shunts up along the structure of the gig, repairing tarnishing, fixing any broken structure, and working his way up to the peak of the spear that pierces into the earth itself to form a small statue at the pinnacle of Boyce and Ollie, hand in hand, looking over the land around them, just as Ollie designed.